We have a rad intro by Kristen. I know that. I can feel it. I can feel it right now.
Got a few words thrown at her.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I hope you didn't feel encumbered by all those requests. That was a lot.
No, the challenge was amazing.
Oh, good. You're always up to a challenge. Let's see. Left and right, left and right. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, this is it, everybody. We're starting episode 24. Session 24 begins in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons, Session 24. That must be shocking to some of you to hear that number. It is to me. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz, John Jagger, Kristen, and Kyle Ferguson, and we are here to bring you yet again another session of the show. Sorry about last week. That was on me. I had a fever, and it needed more cowbells, so I slept a lot. But I'm fine now, and everything's good. We like to start the show out with an email, and I got one for you, okay? This comes from Andrew, who says, he, by the way, sent this by just heading on over to therewillbedungeons.com and hitting the contact link. It's that simple. Happy to read your emails on the show. He says this, I just want to share how awesome you all are. Varel, he's got something for each of us, okay? Varel, you are the most awesome lizard of all lizard kind. Your tail is magnificent and your muscles even more so. Bo, forgive me if I spell your name wrong. He didn't. He got it right. Your GM mastery is the highest of any mastery I've seen to date. I listen, yet I see. Just awesome. All right, there you go. Hope, your voice soothes my ears with awesomeness. Emanating hope? Oh, emanating hope.
You add that to a sandwich.
I think it's spelled weird. Anyway, your use with the gun is actually very scary. Super awesome. Stanley, the way your bald head sheens with light as you prestidigitate that way, which you may, is awesome. I think his character has hair. Anyway.
My character does.
But I thought you were going to say balls.
John Jagger will accept the compliment just fine.
The way your balls gleam in the light when you prestidigitate, it's amazing.
It is pretty amazing. And finally, Nash, I don't trust you. Thanks for the awesome podcast experience. Keep it up, Andrew.
That was good.
There you go. Well done. If you would like to send your own messages in any way you would like, send them over at therewillbedungeons.com.
It's funny.
All right. I think we're good. Bo, any business before I pass it to
I've got to get my dice ready,
Kristen?
but I'm good to go otherwise.
All right.
Oh, quick little note. Just want to say thank you to those who reached out, who took exception to the Baba, the butler of the Weir, offering male, female, or other courtesans. Other was, not the best use of, or gender-sensitive use. I would say that these are characters in the dungeon, but your comments are appreciated and noted. So thank you.
Well, very nice.
Referred to the Weir Human Relations Council.
All right, that sounds good. All right, without any further ado, I would like to pass it over to Kristen, who has prepared a wrap-up of where we were before and where we're heading today. Kristen, take it away.
Certainly, and I just want to preface this by saying thank you. On Twitter, I asked for words you wanted to see in this, and I've taken as many of those words as I could take and shoved them in here. So without further ado, last week on There Will Be Dungeons, a perfectly pleasurable palace. Indebted for interrupting his imprisonment, the giant judgmental juggernaut Kotobopraith invited the tenacious troop to wine and dine in the Weir, famed home to hosts of demons. Popping through a portal leading to a phantasmagorical figuration filled by ferocious fiends desperate to drink souls, onward the wary walkers went until told to take a tangential track. Into a chariot they climbed, carried like a juvenile Joey, image kept contained by closed curtains, warned to open doors to none. The jaunty juxtaposition of the lively Chateau Weir with the silent streets they had sailed was a satisfactory sight. Welcome within the walls of the inn, they were greeted by a self-aggrandizing gremlin who curated their calls for cuisine and companionship. Ever the truculent traveler, Nash ordered a cruise through the cooker, noting no nasty noshes, no mystery meat, no catawampus kumquat. Now, seemingly superfluous, Nash was nonetheless satisfied with his search. Food and festivities began, each enjoying their ephemeral entertainment. That night, after tripping with atoned tryst from a time long past, Hope dreamt of her dead mother, revealing her done-for dad was not so. Burrell sought to sponge bold bean juice through the night. Rest provoked, the enlivened lizard heard help from outside. Irreverent he was not, and obeying the warning to open no doors, Varel, though vehemently vexed, was a pro. Lapse in prudence he preferred not. The next day, freed of their mortal matters, they were once more whisked away to Catobal Praith. Knowledge, knacks, and necessities were promised for the principal's pate in 1,000 days and 1,000 nights. Pursuing power for purchase, Stanley, Nash, and Hope signed the devilish deal. Burrell refused, ever the gusset of the group. Contract complete, Nash felt pain as his inner secrets seared from inside. Now rejoin our heroes as they contest high chances of a conflagration.
Man, you ended up using them all, didn't you?
I cut it off at 6:30 and used all the words.
That is super impressive. Oh my gosh. All right. Well done as always. Bo, it's all yours.
We have to make the music rise.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Hey, let me say that again. Hey, look, everybody. It's time for Bo. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. All right. Bo Schwartz. It's all yours now. For real. This time. Oh, the music's coming back. Now it's going away. All right. Go ahead.
I'm still like fanning myself off after that wonderful intro. It's so good.
It was really
you guess it.
Yeah.
So, all right. When last we left off, we were in Catobal Praith's room in the chateau, or not the chateau excuse me, but in the large castle that you were brought to. I believe it was Toby, the coachman, who had brought you there, the skeletal coachman. And you'd entered into the room, and you had discussed at length Thailander's background and Catobal Praith's aims. You agreed to sign a deal, three of you, all but Varel. And he promised you, Nash, that he would show you immediately what happens, what your secret that lay dormant within you. And so what had happened when we had just left is that he had lifted you off the ground, Jedi style, and that you had started vibrating and screaming, and you feel this sort of tearing as consciousness slips away from you as you float up into the air. And the other three of you can still see this, and you sort of begin hearing a loud screaming coming from Nash. And you recognize this as Catobal Praith, with his black skin and black horns and cloak, reaches one hand up and you know, apparently lifting him up with the power of his mind. And Nash, you lose consciousness, but the rest of you see him begin to scream. And so everyone, I think it's a headphones off thing, and it's just going to be me and Scott for 20 or so.
20?
So,
oh, seconds.
No, minutes.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
Really? Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. See you guys in an entire episode of Seinfeld. Oh my gosh. I'm nervous now.
So the pain sears at you, and the edges of your eyes begin to whiten as you slip out. You fight it with all of your might, but you slip out of consciousness. And a part of you knows somewhere that this is, that, you know, even though you don't trust this guy, that part of the deal is he's showing you something, and that, you know, the pain might just be a side effect of it. But you lose consciousness.
Okay.
Everything goes to black.
All right.
You hear heartbeat.
Apparently.
Oh, did you start playing that? Perfect.
Yeah, I did.
You hear heartbeat.
No way.
You
really?
Realize it. Really.
Listen to this. I was just playing a heartbeat.
You hear that. You see black. You hear heartbeat, and you realize it's your own.
Okay.
And you open your eyes, and you're in a dark brown cave.
Okay.
And you recognize it. It's the solar mine.
Oh my gosh, dude.
You are in the solar mine. And as your heart races, adrenaline pumping from the back, you can hear, "He went this way. Get him. He escaped. Where did he go?" And you hear the clanking of metal weapons, and you think you see a silhouette and light flicker from one direction of the cave. In the other direction, you see that the cave splits off into two farther down.
Okay.
And behind you, and you're lying on the ground, getting a sense of where you are. You have nothing on you. You don't have no cloak. You're basically wearing bandages, as underwear. You're otherwise completely naked.
Okay.
Yeah. And you appear to be you do have bandage over the eye, the eye that you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So your vision's the same. You sort of feel, and nothing's changed about you, but you have no items, no clothes.
Okay. And just to get a lay of the space again, it's there's a hall and it splits into two.
Yeah. So you're in the middle of a cave, near corridor of cavern. Behind you, you hear shouting of like a mob looking for somebody. You assume you think you. They haven't named it, but you assumed it's you.
Okay.
And down the other hall, at the end, you see it splits off into two.
Okay.
Where the noise isn't coming from, and it's just dark down there.
All right. Excuse me. I would like to. I need to get up and move around. I need to see what's going on. Can I? In the crowd that I'm hearing is behind me. You say?
I mean, it's coming from one end. It's in front of you if you turn to face that part of the cave.
And that part
from
of
one end, you hear the clanking of metal and shouting coming from like, where'd he go? Try looking that way. Bring the device. You hear these things being yelled.
All right, I would like to run from. I shouldn't look to the chat. They say I'm going to get my penis back. I'm gonna run away from the voices, so that I don't get caught. It sounds like they're after me.
Okay, so you try to run. You realize you're a little weakened and your legs aren't. They feel like they haven't been used in a long time. It's just the pins and needles in them. But you make your way hastily down, clutching the wall. And as you get closer to the part of the cavern that splits off into two, you see from one, you hear like the sound of a drill coming from the right-hand side, and you just hear coming from the right-hand cavern, and you hear the voice of a man going. And then from the left, you think you hear. I like little bitty flowers. I like something in the rain. And you think you hear singing from like a younger voice, a younger girl voice coming from the left cave.
Okay. I shout, hello! Who is that? Toward the left.
And the singing comes to an abrupt stop. And you hear nothing.
I say it again. I go, who are you?
You get no response down the hall, and you've made the singing stop.
I'm going to make my way toward that left door. Is it a door?
Okay. It's just a corridor. Just the way the solar mines worked, there were never many doors. It was just caverns that opened up into large cave rooms, and they went on endlessly from your memory. So as you go down the left corridor and the right corridor, you continue hearing the drilling, and then you hear as you sort of make your way down the left one.
Okay.
Yes. As you walk into the room, you get into this area that looks like some sort of quarters. You see a few beds, a few tables. There's like on a table there's like a unfinished plate of food, and you sort of do a scan around the room, and you see a little shadow on the wall from a candle that's on one of the tables.
Okay.
Sort of behind a dresser that's in the corner of the cave. On the back side of the cave, you see another exit from this room.
Can I see who's casting the shadow? Is it humanoid? I mean, is it a person?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you peer a little closer towards where this dresser is to see, and then you see that it's you make out the shape of a little human girl playing with the dolly, and just kind of looking at the dolly, and being very quiet.
Okay.
She doesn't notice you that you're there.
Am I close to her now? Relatively close?
Mm-hmm.
Can I reach? I want to reach my hand out and just sort of wave it in front of her. See if I get any reaction at all.
As you reach out, she just looks at you. Her body like seizes up, is very still, sudden, and she goes,
Ooh, I don't like this.
"He's gonna find us."
Who? Who will find us?
The Bulger. The Bulger will find us. And you recognize it as the name of a kind of large, really large guard that they would always be called, like the Sledgehammer or the Rock Fist. And so the Bulger has this nomenclature and association in your mind of like a jailer guard, of a large 7 to 8 foot, massive pot belly dudes that just break humans when they misbehave.
Okay. Do I know I'm in the solar mines? I mean, this is all familiar to me, but
You're in the solar mines.
Okay.
This is with the smell, the look of the wall, just in your gut, you're feeling you're in the solar mine right now.
okay. I look at the girl and say, then we should leave. Let's get out of here and get you out of here.
She shakes her head. She goes, mm-mm.
Why?
You start to hear loud footsteps come from the exit, not the one you came from, but from the one on the other side of this room.
Okay.
You sort of loud booted feet
Coming my direction?
coming direction towards the room, getting louder. He's coming! And the little girl crawls into the bed.
Make room, I say, and I try to get in there with her.
Okay. You try. Okay, so all right. Stealth check, please.
Okay. I don't know what else to do. This is terrifying. All right. It is a plus nothing, so 14.
14. Okay. So you crawl under the bed. You squeeze in, try to make yourself as small as possible. You know that one eyeball down there is going to see you, but for the most part, you're not visible from a cursory glance from above.
Okay.
And the footsteps start to get really close. Then you see it, the big booted foot of one of these bruiser guards.
Okay.
And it steps in, and you hear the loud breathing of like. Wow, my nose actually making pretty loud noise.
Yeah.
You hear the loud footsteps of them, and you hear a smacking, and then the steps continue. Padded, heavy, 400-pound man, like just heavy footsteps on the ground, and you hear it walk out of the room you came out of.
Okay.
Like see the feet walk out.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. So he's gone now?
Yeah. Eventually it becomes quiet.
I'm reminded that there's a door in there. I'm gonna whisper to her, where does that door lead?
It leads to the lower chambers where the magic men play.
That sounds bad.
Don't be scared. I'm going to go. Follow me. And she sort of climbs out of the bed with her dolly, and she runs down the exit where the guard came from.
Wait! I yell behind her. Not real loud, but kind of like a wait!
She does not wait. And again, you start to hear the sound of the metal again, and the sound of many voices come from the direction you came from.
Okay.
And then you hear like a, which way did he go? We're looking for the escapee. And you hear this loud voice, probably of the bruiser, go, I didn't see him come this way. Maybe he's in the doctor's office. And they go, all right. And you hear clanking, and you hear like shuffling of men as they're searching for something.
Coming my direction?
They might be. It's hard to tell. They're definitely, they were where you were when you made the decision to go left and right.
Okay.
Most likely they're close.
It sounds like they're searching. I'd like to get up and make for that door, even though it doesn't sound like it goes to a place I want to be. So I'm going to do that. I'd like to go and try to get that door open.
Okay, so it's not a door, it's an exit.
Oh, it's an exit.
You
All
need
right.
to open the door. Sorry, yeah, you can just walk out.
Okay.
Follow the girl. It's the same direction the girl left.
Also, there's not... I thought there was a second door in this place, or a second...
It's a second exit. So the solar mines often don't have doors. There's usually just connection of caves into larger cave rooms, living areas, offices, slave quarters, mines. So you can just exit out this hallway following the direction that the girl left.
Okay.
The little girl.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
And then you approach down this corridor. As you get close, you see again the cave siphons off into two directions. On the one direction, there's no sound, but you see no torchlight. So there's a bit of fake candles and torchlight and illumination that seems to be present, allowing you to see. But this is a very dark and black direction, and that's to the left.
Okay.
And to the right, you hear like what can only be described as the faint chugging of machinery. Like think of a laundry machine, but far away. Like you hear sounds like gears turning and water swishing, and you're
okay. I'm gonna follow the machine sounds.
Okay. All right, so you head to the right, and this is a slightly well illuminated room. You walk into this area. It's not an area that you're familiar with from your memory of the solar mine. It looks very strange. You start seeing lots of pipes, and they're rusted and sweaty from condensation from whatever liquid is being pushed through these pipes. Probably water, cold water, perhaps, because of the condensation you're seeing. Not ice, but sweaty. And as you sort of follow the pipes that jut out from along the cavern wall, it opens up into a larger space.
Okay.
And in this larger space, you see several tubes of green, these large glass tubes, and in them you see what looks to be the corpses of humans inside, preserved perhaps. They couldn't possibly be breathing in these tubes of green liquid. But you see, 3 or 4 of them, and it's horrific. They're just sort of there, suspended and floating. And you see there's liquid being pushed in from the pipes, liquid being drained out. And this room has many more pipes. And you see a large engine, not an engine, but I want to say a compressor. I don't know if it's a refrigerator. Like looks like an engine. It's got pistons. It'll have a room where combustion happens. And you see a fan belt, and you hear like a and in the middle of the room, you see a little girl staring at everything, holding her dolly.
Same girls before.
Yeah.
Well, I went down the right hall then. I approach her slowly and kneel and ask, "Where are we now?"
I've never seen this place before. I don't know where we are. Why are those men swimming?
What men? You mean these men? These men in the tubes?
The men in the jars.
I don't know.
And she looks to you and says, I'm scared.
Me too, but listen. We have to get you out of here. The solar mines are no place for a young girl your age.
I don't want to leave. This is my home. She says.
How is this your home?
I just don't want the bad men to get me.
Where are your parents? Who takes care of you?
She gives like a shrug. I don't know who my mother and father are. As she sort of stares at you, have this interaction, you start to hear footsteps come from behind you again. These heavy, loud footsteps.
Okay.
And it says, Mary, where are you? I'm gonna find you. And the little girl goes, and she starts running off down another exit behind some pipes, like on the other side of the room where there's an exit here from this chamber's laboratory. She starts to run off.
Okay.
You hear the footsteps. Having responded, the footsteps pick up, and you hear 400-pound man running. So it's like boom, 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 careening down the hall behind you.
I'm gonna go with her, or if I should stand my ground and see what I need to do here. I'm gonna stand my ground and let her get some distance.
Okay. You turn around with your frame, stand your ground, and then you see a shadow come from the hallway. You hear the as the large man rounds the corner. He's shirtless. He's wearing this large belt, and it's like it's sort of kilt style. It's got this skirt, kilt.
Yeah.
But without the plaid. It's like leather. Has the makings of leather. Ugly, shoddy boots that look like they've been worn for 20 years that are tied. Steel toe boots. And a bald head and big giant ears. And just this big man. And one eye is like lazy and falls to the left. This big man rounds the corner. He's got looks like a regular nail hammer, but it's large. He's got a nail hammer in his hand. Where's my little girl? And he looks at you and says, Thief! Thief who took my girl! And he runs directly at you.
Okay.
He takes a swing with this hammer. Can you roll for initiative, please?
I can. 12.
Okay. All right, so you have an opportunity to go first. Just giant 400-pound, just massive. It's a massive muscle. This is not like flabby. He's big and rotund, but it's not flab. This is like dyed in the wool from the hard labors of the solar mine. A man of strength running at you.
Okay. I don't have my staff, do I?
There's no staff.
Okay. I would like to cast a Ray of Sickness. Can I do that without a source? I think I can. Hold on.
So each spell has a verbal, a mimetic, and which means your hand gestures.
Yeah. This one is
somatic, verbal, somatic being your hand gestures, and material. So you have your verbal and your somatic, but you need to have materials for the casting of the spell.
This one says I only need verbal and I only need somatic.
Then you don't need materials, and it may be cast.
All right, I'm going to cast Ray of Sickness. This is a greenish energy that lashes out toward creature within range. It's up to 60 feet. We got plenty of room. It makes a ranged spell attack against the target. On hit, the target takes 2d8 poison damage and must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, it also poisoned, or it is poisoned until the end of the next turn, so it'll end up poisoning him.
Okay. As you go to cast it, your hand, you reach your hand. It comes from your hand, right?
Yeah.
You reach your hand out and go to cast it, and nothing comes out of it.
Oh, great.
You've expended your action for the turn.
I'm in some kind of dream world, aren't I? All right. I look at my hands and look up at the guy, and with what little time I have before his strike hits, and wonder what the hell's going on. I guess that's my turn.
Okay. He approaches you, bringing the hammer up into the air, making an aim for your head. I rolled a 20.
Oh my gosh.
All right, you take 11 points of damage.
So this hurts. So he's real. 11
So
points.
he brings the hammer down. Boom! It dunks into your head, and you feel like your skull. You feel something not right in there. Something crack. There's a loud cracking sound that echoes through your ears as you hear cracking as it brings the hammer down onto the side of your head. And you sort of step back, and then now he's on top of you, and he throws the hammer away, and he goes to just grab you with both of his hands in this wild frenzy. Can we make a grapple contest?
Sure. 18.
Okay, he goes to grab you, and he grabs your bandages, and you step away and tear some bandages off, and he's still in your face. He's right in front of you, within melee range. He'll grant an opportunity attack if you try to escape from melee range, but it's your turn.
All right, in my head, I'm going. It's starting to make. I'm starting to remember. Controllable price. I could find out now what this was. What is the secret power I've got? And I start to frantically think of maybe now I'm supposed to use it, and I don't know how. So I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do something I do know how to do, which is attack him with a firebolt.
Okay.
That will be. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Do you do a saving throw on this? You don't.
No, it's an attack roll.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez, I'm doing well on these rolls. 19.
And you go to attack with your firebolt, and nothing releases from your hand. It's again, you do the customary motion, and nothing happens. And he just looks at you, undeterred, and it just says, "You'll pay for stealing my girl." And then he makes a grapple roll. So can we do a grapple check again, please?
Yep. Natural 20.
Oh man, I got a natural 20 too.
Really?
Which is
All right.
That's epic.
That's
that
pretty
is the
epic.
coolest thing
What
ever.
happens then? Like the world should die.
Well, so basically he grapples you, but you grapple him in response.
Okay.
And you guys both crash into as he grapples. He doesn't get the grapple he wants. He has a hold of you now. This time, one hand on your shoulder, both hands on your shoulders, in a dominating position. But you've actually grabbed him. Your hands, your fingers are grabbing onto his head.
Okay.
You've reached up and you've grabbed his head, and your thumbs are pressing into his eyes.
Okay.
As his grapple, and he's unable to see as a result of your dual grappling, and then you sort of struggle and fall into one of the glass containers, and his heavy body smashes a container as all this formaldehyde-y, smelly, viscous liquid splashes all over both of you, and this rubbery corpse falls over both of your arms and is dead, and just shit and viscous blood guts sort of fall out of its butt, this orifice, and it's all on you, and as it hangs over top of you, and you're grabbing one another, and there's this big struggle as he grabs you. Now it's your turn, but before you start your turn, you see in the destruction of the glass jar this really large nail stuck into the piping that was fastening it together.
Okay.
It's familiar and triggers your memory. You see this nail.
Is it just laying loose now?
It's loose. You see that you can easily grab it and easily have a weapon.
Okay, I do that. I reach out and I grab that. And I grab it and get into a stance.
Okay, so you still have him with one hand, and now you have the nail in your other hand. You have a free hand to attack with it. And for some reason, something is drawing you to his eyes.
Well, hot damn. This is great. Because I would really like to kill him through his eyeballs. So I'm going to take that spike and jam it in his eye as hard as I can.
Okay, roll an attack roll, please.
All right. 11.
Did you add your modifier?
I don't think I have one. Don't want to have one for.
Okay, it's a hit. The nail moves in. Roll your damage dice.
All right. That will be... Wait, 2d? No. Hold on.
A nail's damage is probably improvised weaponry 1d4 plus your strength modifier.
All right. Which I don't have a strength modifier, so 1d4 will be 3.
He lets out a scream, ah, as the nail sinks into his eye and white and red blood pus comes out of his eye. Ah! And all of a sudden, you feel like you're granted with this inspiration and death frenzy, and you get to roll an attack roll again.
Okay.
To stab him in the eye.
Just another damage roll? Or another attack roll?
Another attack roll.
Okay. 3?
Okay. This time it hits right into his forehead, and there's just a little part of the nail stuck into his head, but his eyes now falling out from the side here. And again, this is happening over the corpse that's draped over you, guy, with all the green shit all over top of you. And he tries to pick you up since you're both grappled. He picks you up and he tries to stab you into the metal shrapnel from the broken, or the glass shrapnel from the broken thing. Tries to sort of stab your back and run it like a cheese grater on the back of it.
Oof.
And he pushes you into it, but he fails to connect with anything that would harm you seriously. So he just pushes you into the wall and puts pressure on you. You get to attack again now.
Okay. 8 this time.
Okay. Roll again. In fact, roll 4 times.
Okay, 15. 11. And the third one is 7. That's 4 times total.
Yeah. Okay, so again, you have these repeated motions of just stabbing with the nail, as the nail hits his head and hits his eyeball and pierces more out. And you remove your thumb from the left eye, and the nail drives in again, ripping out his second eyeball, and he can't see. And he lets go. He drops you. Lets go. And you continue driving the nail in as he falls back onto his back and stops defending himself.
Okay.
And your frenzied assault continues. You can't help yourself. It's like you're not even in control of your actions anymore. And somehow this all feels very familiar. And you continue stabbing him until you've stabbed him well over 300 times in this giant rage. And he's nothing but a pile of holes and blood and ooze dripping out everywhere. And you start to hear voices coming from the hallway you came from. I heard noises down here. Well, I think the escapee's here. Quickly, we must get him. We can't let him escape. And you hear the sound of metal rattling, and you hear footsteps and calling, and you feel like there's a large group of people very close.
Okay.
There's another exit where the little girl ran behind you as an option that you think of.
I'm running that direction. I'm going to follow where she went.
Okay.
And I'm keeping that nail. I'm not dropping it.
So you run down this hallway, and as you run down this hallway, you see there's no more. The light begins to diminish, and behind you, the yelling seems to quiet down, and the air gets cool as you run down this hallway. It doesn't feel like a real hallway anymore. And then you're just in this dark hallway, and you see what you think is torchlight at the end of it, maybe 300 meters out in front of you.
Okay.
And it just goes on and on and on. This doesn't feel structurally right to you.
It just, like a void, like if I run that way, it's just going to go forever?
No, you feel like you get to the end, but it's not as you remember it, and it doesn't feel like anyone would build a cave this way, right? Just for no reason.
Right.
Torchlight at the end. Yeah.
All right. I will run toward the light, run toward the torchlight.
Continue towards the torchlight, and 5 to 10 minutes pass. You finally make your way there, and this torchlit room opens up into a giant chamber. And there's a set of stairs that descends like in a spiral along the side down to a room below. And as you peer over the side of this room, you see 4 or 5 you see about, count maybe 12 hooded men, much like me. They're circled around a slab, and they all appear to be chanting Hoya Hetep, Hoya Hetep. And there's this energy, this white bright energy that seems to be emanating from their prayer hands as they lean forward, and imbuing this slab of concrete appears to have some sort of cut up body on it with energy. And you hear a voice whisper in your ear, "Yes, Nash. Yes, Nash, you see. It's here. The truth is here." It's the voice of Cthulhu, Praith.
Okay.
Do you have the heart to see what you need to see?
Where's the girl?
Do you remember this moment?
No. What is this place?
This is what you've hidden from yourself for so many years.
Who are these hooded men?
Go see your truth. This is what you need to see.
All right, I'm going to make my way down toward the slab.
You begin stepping down the stairs and moving towards this area. And as you get close, you see the chanting, "Hoyo hetep, hoyo hetep, hoyo hetep." And as you get closer, you see on the slab that there is a man cut up. His rib cage sort of flipped open. His chest is exposed. There's a cloth over the man's head and the man's feet. His feet stick out, but his legs are covered in cloth. It's like they're operating on the chest area. And you see too that it looks like the legs are a little decapitated and the arms are a little decapitated, like they're separated out. And it's also very curiously, there's a lack of blood. Like you see viscera and you see blood, but you see that also the bones are sort of connected still. There's this strange operating happening on this table. And another hooded man, well, he wasn't hooded, with his hood back, short man, looking like Wallace Shawn, sort of walks out from the back of an entrance in this grand column of a chamber. And it's a familiar voice. This voice, he says, "Yes, Nash. Come, you return to the solar mine and your home." And you remember this guy. He was called the Warden, and he ran the solar mine. And he's someone you swore to kill. And he's there, and he looks at you from down below, and he says, "Are you ready to accept your destiny?" Yes.
I'm enraged by seeing him.
Uh-huh.
And I am just filled with a desire to kill him.
Uh-huh.
I would like to rush him.
Okay.
Spike in hand, overhead, screaming, ready to do to him what I did to the guard.
Okay. All right. So roll an attack roll.
Okay. 9.
Okay. You go to run towards him to make a swing with the nail that you have in your hand, and as you run up to do this, you take a swing and you miss. And he goes, "Oh, Nash, you haven't changed a bit." And he takes his hand and you remember that he had power, that this person was powerful, and you immediately freeze up. Roll a Constitution save.
Oh boy. 16.
Okay, so your body begins to seize up, and it's like you're frozen in suspended animation, but your anger and rage makes your body vibrate and shake. So it's just like this angry thing standing in place, and you can't have control over your limbs at this moment. And he says, "Nash, you're here to see your truth. I've been calling out to you. You must stop it with your anger and accept your destiny."
Enough with these games.
And he moves you around.
Yeah.
He makes his hand like that. He doesn't literally move you around, but you sort of swing around and look at the operating table. He said, we found you wasting away in the desert with the farmers and the poor, yet your potential was the greatest that we had ever seen. We had to pry all your humanity away from you so that you could become a great warrior under the Dragon Sons, the greatest champion of the Principle. And you still reject your gifts. You still live like you don't know what you are. And maybe somewhere deep down you just want to forget it all. But look here. And he rips back the cloth on the table to reveal the face. And it's your face on the table. And it's unconscious, but eyes open, staring at in horror, and you see your face on the table. He's like, this, Nash, was the moment you were born. Not the old you, but the great marvel of this world you are today. And then some dragon sons from the right-hand side of the chamber. There's an entrance you didn't notice before. They come out, and using this white sort of energy with their hands and the chanting, they're making float this black rock. There's this black rock. And sort of looking to the black rock and looking to the corpse, you see there's a hole in your chest where your heart would be. And you see that if this is you on the table, you don't have a heart. And you look back to this black rock, and as you look closer, it looks familiar. It appears to be made out of this shiny black obsidian that you've seen before under Dust Hill. And they approach the slab. Now, you can roll a Constitution save if you want to try and break free of your bondage.
I'll try. Why not? 6.
Okay. Again, you still can't break free. And they bring this rock in it, and each of these dragon sons, they pull back their hoods, and they have these tattoos all on their head, and they have these giant beaded totems hanging around their necks, and they use their magic, and they descend this black rock. They lower it into the chest of your doppelganger on the table. And then all of a sudden, all the lights turn red. And the chanting intensifies. Ho ha, state of beast, and you see the flesh of your doppelganger begin to tie together as if some invisible hands were conducting the insanest, quickest surgery that you've ever seen. And it starts connecting this metal rock that is some kind of a pacemaker, some kind of a metal heart, and you see the engine start to glow, and this begins to pump blood. See blood, and then as it shoots the blood out, these little veins start to get sewn in, and then the blood squirting stops, and then the heart becomes connected, and you see the eye light up where you have your glowing eye. On the corpse on the ground, you hear the warden go, ah! You are a marvel. You are the chosen one the only one who could withstand the might of dragon metal sewn to flesh. It's you who will rule this world one day with your might. And you hear as the body begins to sew up and close up, and you see your doppelganger completely sewn up. The eye comes on the other guy, and you see him free himself. And you see that familiar nail that this doppelganger has, and he immediately sticks it in the head of one of the guys who's just turned him on, and he sticks it in the other surgeon, and he starts killing and murdering all in front of you. There's this bloodshed as like the nail goes in and starts killing all of the dragon sons. They try to fight back, and then you start to zoom out, and like it's like you're leaving the scene, as you float into the air, and you just see the warden, who remains unattacked, looking at you, and he says, "We'll see each other soon." And then it fades to black as you leave here. Then you're back into intense pain, and we can bring the rest of the people into the room now.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, they don't know we're back. They're not there in their chairs. We're back, everyone. Come back.
Yeah, it was more than 20 minutes for sure, but totally worth it.
Whew. I am so excited about everything you just did. I'm so excited. All right.
You haven't seen half of it. It's not over. Just get the people back. I
don't know how to ping them. What do we do? Do we
chat room, get them back here.
Yeah. They all went to take a nap. I'm gonna text John because I have his phone, and then that'll at least get him coming. John. Okay. John Jagger. Ready. Okay. I've sent him something that says ready. Maybe we can just do it in here too. Oh, you did already.
Like several times.
Hopefully they hear it and they're on their way back. I'm gonna pause the audio, show where it's at for a second.
Okay, we're paused on the audio.
Yeah, video's still going.
Fill time.
Yeah,
my throat's a little.
Yeah, you spent it. Yeah, you're good.
We'll probably take a break soon after this, I'm thinking.
Yeah, so they're coming in now. Okay. All right, everybody's back. They're all putting headphones in though. There's
all right,
Kristen. There's John. Okay, they're back.
All right.
I forgot to take my phone with me.
That's fine. So can you?
We didn't see the symbol, but we saw chat, and we're like, oh.
Yeah.
Can you resume the recording?
Yeah, it's going. We're good.
All right. So white light envelops you, and you're back into pain. You feel the fire, the familiar feeling in your stomach when everything's super tight. Your chest is so tight it wants to burst. And then back in the chamber, in Kotoba Place chamber, you see him floating up, and you see the shape of Nash. And then Nash is able to move his body while he's being held, and his thumb just explodes in size and turns green and scaly with a giant nail in it, and then his index finger changes, and his arm completely contorts and bends in a way that it isn't supposed to. It becomes muscled and ripped and green and scales, and then your jaw, Nash, your jaw just wants to and it just juts out. He's got the foot-long hang jaw all of a sudden. He's just this deformity of a human being. And then and then he falls to the ground, and it's like this sort of fetal position, and half of his body is disfigured, and from his back, two horns just jut out, and then these giant wings form, and you hear him make this unusual sound as his form change shape before you, and he grows in size, and in the span of 10 seconds there's a large but clearly young looking dragon sitting before you.
Holy shit.
And the pain settles, Nash. The pain resides. Your form is strange. Everything feels there. But you go to speak and find that you can speak. The party is looking at you in horror, and Kotoba Praith is just satisfied with his work.
Nash?
I'm hideous.
You're beautiful.
I don't know what's going. Can you understand me? Looking at you guys. Can you hear me? Varel can hear
Are
me.
you speaking Draconic?
Oh yeah, what am I speaking? Do I suddenly know Draconic?
What language do you know?
I don't know any.
Do you already know Draconic? That
No.
was already a language you know, so you can speak.
I do?
Whatever language you decide. Yep. That you know.
I thought I didn't know. Hold on. Now I don't remember.
So wait, he looks like 100% a dragon, not a man at all anymore?
He is not a man at all. He's a complete dragon.
So I am pure dragon form. Am I like Drake form-ish? Like...
So, well, all right,
Like
I'll
the
introduce
singer
you.
Drake?
Wait a second.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm adding an item to your inventory.
Okay.
It's called the Dragon Metal Heart of Kaj Desiree.
Okay.
There's a long rules thing that we're going to have to go over with everyone, but I'll give you the TLDR as we go through this. But basically, well, I mean, the party doesn't know this. I probably should have explained to you before they come back, just to make the reveal correct. So I feel a little bad about that.
Do you need us to earbuds out for a minute?
We could stay seated.
Yeah, earbuds out for like 5 minutes, okay? Thanks. All right, you have an item in your inventory. I've added it, so you might need to refresh it in order to see it.
What's it called again?
It's called the Dragon Metal Heart of Kaj Dejere.
Yeah, I'll have to refresh.
All right, and it's the the penultimate creation of all the Dragon Sun's sorceress engineering experiments. The Dragon Metal Heart of Kaj Dejere is a function humanoid heart forged with pieces and parts made only of dragon metal. A magical material mined from the heart of the Black Dragon Broodmother, Kaj Dejere.
Oh my gosh.
Like all dragon metals, the glass is obsidian flesh and is known to emit mana wave radiation even after its owner has expired. What this basically does for you on the sort of TLDR front, is you can not once per day, sorry, you can turn into a dragon.
I can totally Alex Straza this thing. Once per day.
You can turn into a dragon.
It says here only one. Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
I just like this. There's flavor text at the bottom. It says the only host is Nash Magard has been a successful recipient of the Dragon Metal Heart transplant.
So what makes you unique is the fact that transfusing dragon metal into a humanoid corpse has never worked before, but it's worked for you.
Okay.
But that's why you have all your cancers. Your body's in the process of rejecting it, but also not rejecting it.
Okay.
It's you know, that's where your sickness comes from, and that you're filled with mana wave radiation. Now, what the heart allows you to do is at levels 1 through 5, you can turn into a black dragon wormling.
Yeah.
Level 6 to 12, you can turn into a young black dragon. At 13 to 17, an adult black dragon. And when you get through to 18 to 20, an ancient black dragon. You can transform. Now, currently, when you transform, you'll suffer exhaustion, which can kill you. But as you level up, you'll get better and better at it until you can just do it at will.
Okay.
So it's a really long rules text I wrote for it. It's something we can post for people online later to go over, and it's just something for you to read.
Okay.
But essentially, the truth that's been revealed to you, Scott or Nash, is that you don't have a heart. And when you said you don't have a heart, there was truth to it.
Oh, man.
You have a dragon metal heart. And because of a dragon heart is magical, that dragon's not dead. It's like symbiotic with you, and you can turn into it, but you're still Nash when you're the dragon. But you have its memories and its feelings.
Okay.
And whatever else is associated with, you know, the mysteries involved of being part dragon, essentially. Some sort of genetic scientific experiment done by the Dragon Sun mages made you this way, and you've been traumatized by it. When you woke up from it, you killed everyone and repressed all those memories and had all you know is you got out of there because those guys are buttholes, and they did this to you against your will. But like Wolverine, they just needed to do it to you, basically.
Right.
And so now this truth has been revealed to you, so we can get people back on here.
Holy Moses. Amazing callback, by the way. That's so good. Can I ask you a question, like off topic for a second? Did you write that down that one day and then say, I'm going to turn that into something? Which doesn't give anything away to these guys.
No, this idea hadn't come up at that time.
That's amazing.
But you left all the threads that you left sort of tied together, and then one day I'm sitting and I'm like, oh, I've got an idea, and it works.
It's really good. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
All I know is Scott looked very excited.
I am so excited.
You're in Kotobel Price Chamber. Nash has exploded into a dragon in front of you. It's not the size of the dragon you saw burst out of the ground. You'd be classified as a young dragon wormling, but he's still of a large size, meaning, you know, he stands about 14 to 20 feet up. He's got giant wingspan. He looks ferocious, and he just spoke to you.
Can I breathe fire? Do we know that yet?
Well, you turn into the dragon, so the dragon actually has a monster stat sheet, and it includes breathing fire. You'd have to go see Black Dragon Wormling, but I believe because you're Your draconic ancestry is black. This is a black dragon, so you actually breathe acid fire.
Okay.
Does he have the sick horns on the side?
He looks every bit a dragon. Sick horns, scale, like dragon, not dragonborn or half. It's a dragon. There's a dragon sitting in front of you.
I am constructing a saddle. Later on.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love this. Okay.
So he looks across and he says, "Let me know if you have questions, and then we can proceed. What's next?"
Okay.
But I understand if you need a moment to process this. Now.
Which one of us?
Can I ask I need to Goat Man, I have a question about my current condition.
Mm-hmm.
Can I is this like how do I get out of this mode? What if I want to be humanoid again?
You can decide You can decide when you like. It only lasts for a certain number of hours right now as you become more and more accustomed to your truth. But as you grow in power, one day you'll be able to turn into a dragon at will and back again. Simply wish it and your form will revert. Also, if you take enough hit points and damage to return you to 0, you will revert to your form.
So,
I'm going to stay like this for a minute. Get used
you do right now have a limit on the amount of time you can stay, but everything about that will be lessened as you level up. It's all in the text description of the item you have.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at what I become. Oh, you're right, it is acid breath. I have a bite, acid breath, and it doesn't say anything about...
You can fly.
I can fly. I can also breathe water and air. So if I need to breathe water, I can. I do now know Draconic, at least in this form. And Dark Vision, 60 feet. Dude, this is great.
At later levels, you'll have multi-attack, and you'll be able to breathe tons of fire.
Okay.
You're the weak version of what this is going to be once you get to level 6.
It doesn't say anything about longevity or how long until it just...
That's in the item description that I created. It's a custom item. It's on your character sheet.
Okay.
Backgrounds, races. Sorry, homebrew creations. But basically, it's a number of hours right now, I believe.
Okay.
Dragon Metal Heart of Kej Dejire.
Okay, I'm going to...
So the host of the Dragon Metal Heart you can also, when you're not in dragon form, you can cast the acid version of Dragon's Breath at a power level equal or less to your highest available spell slot once per long rest. So in human form, once per day, you can cast Dragon's Breath.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But also, when you transform, you stay in beast shape for a number of hours equal to half your level, rounded down. So you're level 4, so 2 hours.
Okay.
Then you revert to normal form and suffer 1d4 levels of exhaustion. You can revert to normal form earlier by using your bonus action on your turn. You automatically revert if you fall unconscious, drop to 0 hit points, or die. So at 7th level, it'll be 1d4 minus 1 levels of exhaustion. At level 9, it'll be 1d4 minus 2. At level 13, you won't suffer exhaustion anymore, and then you can do it at will later.
Okay.
So you'll get more powerful as you go along.
Okay.
But right now, you'll be in this form for 2 hours, or when you decide to stop.
I'm going to stay in this form for now and get used to it. And I tell the team, the rest of the team that, and tell them, don't be afraid. I'm working out some issues.
Don't be afraid. Don't be hearing this.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, role play the dragon voice now. When you're in dragon voice, you sound different.
Yeah. Boy, how do I sound? Don't brr, shit. Let me think for a minute. I breathe like this. So I got this going. It's pretty cool. And then I'm like, Stanley says something dumb, and I go, and I just get a little mad at him, and then I just sort of just say, while I'm in this form, I talk like this. I'm a dragon, and I'm getting used to it. I got like 2 hours of this, so whoever has questions for Catobal Praith, let him have it. I'm staying in this form.
Everyone's silenced in shock.
They're dumbfounded.
Are you sure you didn't want to sign, Varel?
At least we have a way out of the mine. If Nash Nash, you may want to practice flight.
I'm ready to roll. I feel it. I can do it. I can fly now.
Oh.
You can just go ahead and do it. If you want to fly, you can just fly right now.
Okay. I'm going to
Doesn't
show
take a
them.
special ability. You just do it.
I'm going to show them. Here goes. This is me flying away. That's me. And now I'm just sort of flying around in the empty cavernous space that we're in.
Yeah, well, you fly up and whoosh, whoosh, feel the wind on your face as he's just like whoosh, flies up into the air of the chamber. Katoba Praith looks on, and Quizquaz scarily, he leans out, he's like, he looks behind him. And you're up there, you're floating up above in the chamber.
And I go,
just flying, like, whatever.
this is the coolest thing ever!
A problem solved, I guess.
Seriously, you guys, this is awesome! I'll take it for a ride later.
Well, there's gonna be no living with him now.
Are you all secret dragons?
Not to my knowledge, no. Was he always a dragon? Did I just not notice that before?
We know he exploded when dragons came by.
I'm gonna land while you're talking.
I mean, Nash knows what's. Oh, never mind.
Here, I just landed.
You might try asking Nash why he can turn into a dragon. I will say that. If he might not tell you, but you know.
Oh, a little hint there, is it?
I'll give him a little hint because they're kind of looking at each other like, was he always a dragon? I'm like, ask him. Ask him, guys.
Any questions?
Were you always a dragon, Nash?
That's a great question. No. I can't quite put into words what I've seen, but let's just put it this way. Our little goat friend showed me the whole thing. It all makes sense now. Here's the only problem. I don't want to work for him. I don't want to work for any other man. So don't go thinking this means I have any kind of dedication to anyone.
Well,
But
you did sign a contract, Nash.
well, yes. But that was before I could be a dragon. Things have changed. And all I'm saying is this what happened to me in the solar mines, it was wiped from my memory, or at least I don't remember it, was cruel and horrible and evil. But I think I can make it work for our benefit. And that's all I'll say for now. We'll explain more later. But remember that time I said I wasn't even sure if I had a heart? Do you remember that?
Nope, I wasn't there.
Where the hell were you?
I think we were checking on the dragon engine. That wasn't. I wouldn't know.
We don't know when that happened, Nash.
Well, when I said it, I just meant that I was feeling a little sad. But as it turns out, I don't have a heart, at least not my human one. And so what you see before you now is brought to you by some dark, twisted magic. But I have the heart of a dragon. And I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want with it. And I kind of give a look to Goatman. Not saying I'm breaking the contract. I'm just saying.
Of course.
I sit back, fold my big dragon
Feels
arms.
good, doesn't it? It feels good, doesn't it, Nash?
It feels really good.
Yes. There's no feeling quite like power.
Well, that's a horse, or whatever sound they make when they're.
You can make that sound. They can do whatever you want. You're a dragon.
Horsey dragon, but that's fine.
All right. On that note, I realized that it was kind of a weird way to come back. I'm exhausted from our little 1v1 RP. I actually put it a little.
You really
So I'd
went
like to
all
take a
in.
break there, I think.
All
And then
right.
we can continue. I know it feels like I haven't done much because it was a little longer than I anticipated, but I need a little 10.
All right, we're
So
going to
let's
take
do
a
that.
quick 10-minute break. We'll be right back. Everybody stay tuned.
Thanks, guys.